All right, I know it's been a long time since I've been doing some videos. I think I got one out yesterday, and it's a good thing I did it Sunday in my car while I was waiting for something. I'll tell you a little story before I get started on the silver video here. Many of you know I'm in information technology. I am like the sole IT guy over the company I work for. And a very simple task that I scheduled for Sunday morning, which is changing out a 500 gigabyte solid state hard drive in exchange for a 1 terabyte solid state hard drive to host our mail database for our Exchange server. It's a simple task of imaging the hard drive to the other one. It's done a million of these. No big deal. Took about 3 hours because of that kind of data transfer, even on a SSD. Still took a while. I go to turn the server back on. It starts to boot up. I see the mouse come up, restarts by itself. Not good. Try it again, same thing. Let me boot in this safe mode. Nope, same thing. Okay, nothing changed but this hard drive. Let me put the old hard drive back in and start it back up. Should be fine. Nope, reboots again. That's okay, because old JSNIP 4 likes to have a backup plan. And a long time ago, I bought a motherboard and CPU identical to the one that was already in there. In case of an emergency, in case of hardware failure, I can swap it out. And I already tested it long ago to make sure that it in fact would work. So I put that board in with the CPU, turn it on, it restarts by itself. Okay, let me change out the power supply. Starts over by itself. I messed with this thing for hours. Did a complete backup, restore from a backup. Did not matter. Kept restarting. I said, oh my God. If this server is not back up by Monday morning, the entire company's email will not be functional. And this is a call center environment, by the way, sales calls. Not good. So I stayed up. Woke up, 8 something in the morning, got over there, started working about 9:30. Meant to spend 3 hours and then go to my old house to finish cleaning out the garage and call it a day with the old house. And I ended up staying up for 24 hours straight. We had to go with the hosted Exchange solution online through Microsoft, which honestly is probably not a bad idea. But I had to set up everybody's email accounts from scratch, back up their old emails on their PCs, then restore it to the new ones. I was literally there all night. My alarm clock on my phone was ringing, and I'm still awake, thinking, that's odd. I've never heard that before. I'm actually awake this whole time, and my alarm clock on my phone is ringing right now, telling me to get up and go to work. That's funny. I'm already here, and I've been here for 24 hours. I barely squeaked it out, and I got about 5 hours of sleep, if that, maybe 4 hours. Went back to work to finish a few things off that were not really pressing too bad, but long story short, JSNIP 4 has been exhausted. This move, this problem on Sunday and Monday, and while I was waiting for the server to copy the data over, that's when I did that video. So as you can see, still got this tan color wall behind me. I do have a whole green screen set up, a different one that I was not using before. I purchased this online. It comes with its own light kit and everything. I plan on setting it up soon. I got some special videos I'm planning on. I've got 2 parodies that are like on standby that I think you're going to really enjoy, just to change things up. You know how I do a parody every great once in a while. So just want to get that out of the way. That's why I haven't done too many videos lately, the move and this, and I've just been exhausted, man. But I feel like my peeps, they need me. They need the info. So I'm going to push out this one video tonight. And it's about precious metals. So to start with, this is courtesy of Silver Doctors. Epic COMEX silver bleed accelerates again as stackers advance on the enemy. That's an excellent title. And it's submitted by the Wealth Watchman. Hey brothers, this week we take another look at the COMEX silver numbers and how the bleed out has gotten worse. We discuss the following. He's got a video on YouTube. Epic COMEX silver bleed accelerates again. You could find that on YouTube if you actually want to watch the video. But it discusses the number of ounces the U.S. Mint alone has consumed in making the Silver Eagles in January. Pretty epic. The number of ounces the COMEX eligible numbers have lost in the past 2 weeks. And he says, hint, it's a lot. Huge. The reason why the COMEX must take on both registered and eligible silver casualties in this war. The epic tonnage gold record that Russia just set last year. The monstrous tonnage China is still taking from the global gold pool. And lastly, why the big guys like central banks and billionaires aren't buying silver yet, he says. Now, I haven't watched this video. I'm going to click play for just a second. It's 11 minutes and 23 seconds. And again, it's titled Epic COMEX Silver Bleed Accelerates Again. Speaking of billionaires, you may have heard of this Mexican billionaire named Hugo Salinas Price. And he has a little headline here. Revaluation of gold is coming. Is gold about to be priced to $50,000 per ounce? Question mark. Now, I don't know if that's Hugo's quote. I don't believe that is. But it says Hugo Salinas Price, Mexican business magnate, investor, and philanthropist, and the president of the Mexican Civic Association for Silver, writes today that gold will soon return to its traditional role in the international monetary system. Now, I already told you, if you've been, my subscriber for any length of time, that's been the plan. That's the elite's plan. This isn't something that's the good guys, the good guys. I keep listening to Bix Weir in his emails. The good guys, about the bad guys could be a war. Bix, there are no good guys. It's just the bad guys, and they understand that at the end of the paper fiat money system, the next thing is backed by gold. The next currency is backed by gold. So there's no good guy, nothing. It's nonsense. However, billionaire Hugo Salinas Price says that gold will soon return to its traditional role in the international monetary system. That's exactly what I've been saying. If you watch a documentary that I've mentioned numerous times, it's like The Money Masters. Same guy produced it. It's kind of a remake, newer, modernized version with a few errors I guess he had that are fixed. The Secret of Oz. It's a great documentary. I'm telling you, if you have not seen this, go watch it on YouTube. It's very, very good, and it explains this. He says the current meltdown of the world's debt bubble is likely to continue in the course of the next months, which I don't know if, again, this might just be Silver Doctor talking, but the current meltdown of the world's debt bubble is likely to continue in the course of the next months, and Salinas believes that the salvaging of all debt and derivatives might require a gold price as high as between $22,000 and $50,000 per ounce. And it's showing hypothetical gold revaluation. Current gold value, $1,100. Estimated tons, 31,100. Hypothetical gold revaluation, if his $22,000 mark is right. Estimated tons, 31,000, same thing, 100 tons. But it looks like, what is this? That would take care of like 30-something trillion dollars, trillions of dollars. And then if it's 50,000 per ounce, that would take care of about $90 trillion. And again, the same estimate. Well, the first two estimates were 31,000 tons. This one's 50,000 tons. So we have to get some more tonnage, first of all. But it's just, in other words, if you really have to put a value on all this debt, that's how much gold should be to deal with it, is essentially what's happening here, based off the amount that we know we have. He believes that gold will soon help balance international trade, discipline government budgets, and re-liquefy debt that is becoming unpayable. The secular trend to expansion of credit has morphed into contraction and liquidation. It is my opinion that the new trend is now established and no action by any of the central banks that issue reserve currencies will do anything at all to reverse that trend. Salinas Price's commentary is headlined "The Coming Revaluation of Gold," and it's posted at the Civic Association's website, which is plata.com.mx. I'm going to stop at that. There's a couple of comments. I'm going to stop there and finish this video with, this is all Silver Dog. This is all like their headlines right now. Breaking the COMEX. First, the collapse of registered gold stocks, now silver. COMEX silver bar inventories just did a massive cliff dive. The breaking of the COMEX exchange is at hand, from the SRS Rocco report. The once mighty paper price-setting COMEX exchange has now become a mere shadow of its former self. Before the U.S. investment banking and housing collapse in 2008, the COMEX held over 5 million ounces in its registered gold inventories. At the peak, it held approximately 5.3 million ounces, which was in 2006. And he's got a little chart here, which I'm going to give you a little peek at real quick. And this is 2005 to 2016. Not looking too pretty. Let me go back to myself. As we can see in the chart, the trend has been lower, with a cliff-like decline at the beginning of 2013. This was during the time when the gold price fell from $1,650 to $1,150 in just 6 months. Savvy traders who were trying to exit their gold positions by getting the best possible price did so by knocking the price down over $100 on many days. Nothing like exiting a trade strategically, CNBC style. Regardless, the registered gold inventories fell from 5.3 million ounces in 2006 to a lousy 275,000 today. That's pretty incredible, if I don't mind saying so myself. It's on fumes. We must remember registered inventories are gold stocks that are ready, physical stocks of gold, not paper stocks if that's confusing. A physical stockpile of gold that are ready to be delivered into the market, right? So registered inventories are gold stocks that are ready to be delivered into the market should someone need some gold. Some analysts may say that this really isn't that big of a deal because there is still 6.4 million ounce worth of gold at the COMEX. In other words, part of the, you have registered and eligible. So the eligible amount is still there, they're saying, but the problem is that's technically already spoken for. So it's kind of like going into an allocated account, so to speak, and taking it. While this is true, I would imagine that most of the 6+ million ounces of eligible gold are held in tight hands, and who knows how much of that 6.1 million ounce of eligible golds are stocks are actually there at the COMEX, or how many claims are put on each ounce, right? You may have numerous claims to that one same ounce, or that 100 ounce, or whatever it is. 100 ounce bar, or whatever they have. How many claims are on that same bar? That's another question, and I can already tell you the answer. Numerous. Well, that's my receipt. That's mine. Oh, that's mine too. That's how that goes. Which is why the old saying is very appropriate right now. If you don't hold it in your hands, you do not own it. Never forget that. Here's another chart showing the decline of registered gold inventories at the COMEX. Which is a light yellow bar. Let's take a peek at this. The light yellow bars on top, so the non-orange ones, if you will, I guess, are registered gold inventories, which the tan-colored bars bottom are the eligible. In 2004, which is right here, 180, we can see just how large the yellow bar is compared to the tan bar. Thus, registered gold inventories were likely 75% of the total inventories in 2004. As you can see, it's a lion's share of that bar. Today, the registered gold inventories are shown as that little blemish, that sliver of yellow on top of the eligible tan bar, which literally, if you can even see my mouse moving, this is as far as it goes. A sliver. So today the registered gold inventories are shown as that little blemish of yellow on top of the eligible tan bar, which now only represents a lousy 4% of total inventories. And that's the important one, because that's the deliverable ready gold. COMEX silver inventories declined significantly over past 6 months. Not only have the registered gold inventories declined significantly, so have the total COMEX silver stocks over the past 6 months. And here's a little chart of that. And again, we were looking at COMEX, this greenish one, COMEX depository warehouse, registered silver stocks. So you look back at July, and it was 60 million, allegedly. It's down to 36 million. It's almost half. It was just 6 months. We're talking of roughly 6 months. So the appetite is becoming ferocious for precious metals, even though the prices are low. In a little more than 6 months, registered silver inventory declined from 60 million to 36 million currently. Just as with gold, we are seeing a drain of registered silver inventories. We can see the trend more clearly on this chart. Again, it's the same thing. In 2007, there were more silver held in the registered category than the eligible. Again, same thing applies. I'm looking, matter of fact, let's just go back for a second because this is silver and not gold. So you can see these large areas of registered. And then again, here we are. I'm not going to call that a sliver, but it's noticeably smaller. I mean, big time. So, it makes you wonder where all of a sudden are they going to get this gold from? The other thing, which if you look, we're at $14.60 silver, at the moment. We were just pushing 1390s easily and lower. So we had a nice little jump. I watched that yesterday. We had a nice little jump with silver and gold. It seems safe. I don't know if I want to say it's safe, but it seems safe to say, especially with gold, 1123. It's past that 1090. It goes up to 11 something, back down to 1090. It may be safe to say it's starting to creep up and may stay in that level. But again, when you have the powers that be, the club, able to push it to any price they want at any time, it's all computerized. It doesn't matter. It looks good. Oh, great. But tomorrow can come. When you see this video tomorrow, and we might see, silver, gold slam back down to 1090, and silver back down to 1390 or 1403 or some nonsense, right? So, bottom line, which I can stop this video at this point. I don't need to read this whole entire article. The appetite for precious metals is ferocious. The COMEX is being cleaned out. That does not mean that they can't get it from somewhere else, and that somewhere else may be GLD and SLV. I'm quite certain. But the other question is, have they already been tapping those sources all along? You can't tap something twice, right? So that remains to be seen. And who runs the SLV and the GLD? That's paper, gold, and silver, supposedly backed by the real thing, like an investment. The club owns that. And a long time ago, I read the prospectus. I don't know if it was GLD or SLV or both. I think it may have been SLV. And it was shocking. I'm just going to ask real quick. First of all, let me see if I can find it. Let me check my own videos. Jason at 4. SLV prospectus. Not seeing it. Maybe it was GLD. I know I did a video on this. Let me just check real quick, and then I'll end this. Nope, I can't find it. I don't know what I would have. I may have just titled it something else. That's too bad. I can't remember what I called it, but it's terrible. You read it, and it's like we can shut this whole thing down at any time for any reason. We can sell it off for no reason at all. In other words, you're never going to see that we ever had it. So if our inventory was drained, we could just sell it for some reason that we feel like, sell it off and close up shop and issue you your little funds, whatever's left. So I always thought they would smash like gold and silver like one big final time so that the SLV and GLD could say, oh, due to the terrible price of gold and silver, we're closing up. All you investors that have shares of GLD and SLV, today's price is such and such. Here's your share money at today's price. We're closing shop. And then, of course, silver and gold spike afterwards, but they've already closed up shop. Bottom line being, they never had the gold and silver to sell off anyways. And they've been collecting cash from people, shares, right? Because each share represents an ounce. So if you have a share of SLV, you essentially have 1 single ounce of silver. But imagine being the guy that says, I have all this silver and gold. Come buy these shares for my company, and each share you buy is equivalent to 1 ounce of silver, right? And millions and millions, billion, who knows how much total. Could be in the billions technically. And imagine that they never or bought so little. You know, like let's say there's 1 million shares and they bought 100,000 ounces. They should have bought 1 million ounces because each share requires an ounce. But let's just say they bought 100,000 ounces of physical and sold 1 million ounces worth of shares. Again, who runs this place and who audits the place? The club and the club's auditors. You never get to see what's there. They just audit it by some rent. You know, we got a company we use, which is, again, it's the club. It's the club's own company. So I always thought, well, if the COMEX is taking SLV and GLD, first of all, does GLD and SLV have anything? And if the answer was yes, they had some, but it's certainly not as much as they claim they have. And they've been giving it up to the COMEX because, you know, the massive demand. They must not have anything, like, is what I'm thinking. But I have a feeling one day that's going to come out, and we're going to find out. So I'll be trying to get some videos up here shortly, so I get my green screen and everything situated here. Just consider it like February. Starting February, I'll be back in business. And I would like to get the political game show going very soon as well. If you haven't subscribed to my other channel, subscribe to it. It's in the description box, I believe, below the political game show. Because I do want to give out some silver to the contestants. I can't wait. Take care.